Hello, good morning. Today is 26 January and Republic Day celebrated across the whole country. I will not give you the standard greetings which everybody is busy sending to each other, Republic Day and happiness and all that. I'll come straight to the point and the law and the spirit behind the Republic Day celebrations. This is the day when Constitution of India was adopted as the governing document for the whole country. So, if you ask children at home or if you ask friends and neighbors, many of them confuse Republic Day with Independence Day. This is not the day India won its independence, as many people think. This is the day that the Constitution of India was accepted and adopted and implemented across the whole country. You have to understand the background. India, before becoming a republic, comprised of several kingdoms, over 500 small kingdoms, together now form what we call India, and this happened on 26 January because the entire land that comes within the domain of India came together and adopted the constitution. Republic is a Latin word and it signifies people's strength. It stands diametrically opposite to monarchy and to other forms of government like dictatorship. Republic means government of the people, by the people, for the people. Therefore, if you have children at home, please explain to them the real meaning of Republic Day. Tell them that Republic is a Latin word and tell them the other significance is that the Constitution of India was adopted today and therefore it's celebrated as a great occasion across the country regardless of the religious, cultural and linguistic backgrounds. There is this movie called Kala Pani, if I remember well, acted by Mohanlal from Kerala and also somebody called Prabhu from Tamil. This is not something I'm sure about, but I do remember a scene and that I will narrate now. In the scene, Prabhu and Mohanlal both are incarcerated in this famous or notorious prison called Kalapani, which is I think somewhere in Andaman and Nicobars. In that movie, Prabhu keeps saying that Tamil blood runs in my veins. And he is often corrected by the hero of the movie saying, say Indian blood runs in my veins. Stop saying Tamil blood runs in my veins. Now, why am I telling you this? I am telling you this because except on 26 January and on 15th August, we need to think whether we are Indian enough. These are the 2 days when we come out and hoist the national flag and look at the flag, play those beautiful songs, and even manage a couple of tears out of patriotism or a sense of patriotism. It's actually very funny to see grown-up men crying on this day because the day before and the day after, I would like to ask us, are we Indian enough? What are we first? Am I a Brahmin first, a Marathi first, a Bengali first, and then an Indian next? Or an Indian first and everything else next? This question has to be asked on all such great occasions, such as today. If you are truly an Indian, it should show in the way you talk and walk and accept other people from other states and other linguistic backgrounds. India has an enormous challenge to continue on this path of progress. India is a very old tradition, but a very young country. You have to understand the difference. India has existed for a long time, not as India, but as kingdoms and as people who shared borders. Only very recently you got your independence, you adopted a constitution, and now you're a country. You're a very young country, very old culture and tradition. So as a young country, we are grappling with these issues. On 26th January, on 15th August, we are Indians, but for the rest of the days of the year, we are everything else. There are fights in one state because of people from the other state coming to this state. There are 2 states fighting for water to be shared because one state cannot stand the other state. It is very common for people to commit atrocities on people of lower caste, and the entire Northeast is forgotten by the rest of the country. We simply don't know anything about Northeast. If a Northeast person lands in Bombay or Delhi, he is first asked if he is Chinese or Korean. In fact, they have all kinds of funny names to call them. India, to be a republic, requires people to be united. That is the meaning of republic. You have to be united, you have to feel an Indianness, just like the Japanese feels a Japanese-ness or an American feels an American-ness. You have to feel an Indian-ness first, foremost and always. Now, how do we become Indians? Is there a magic formula? Is there a pill that one can take and be an Indian first and a Brahmin, Kshatriya or whatever next? Is there a mantra that you can recite and adopt to be an Indian first and everything else next? Surprisingly, yes. Surprisingly, I have found a recipe for all of us to be Indians first. And I found this recipe in the very same document which makes us celebrate this day, Constitution of India. In Constitution of India, there is something called List of Fundamental Duties. It shall scroll down now. Article 51A, Part 4A of the Constitution of India specifies the list of fundamental duties for citizens. The founder of the author rather of the Constitution of India prescribed a few fundamental duties. Now, I have no clue why these fundamental duties have not become mandatory. So these fundamental duties are given to citizens for them to choose to follow or not to follow. But if fundamental duties become mandatory, we will all be Indians first. Please take a printout of this and show it to your young children. Teach them what the fundamental duties are. As of today, fundamental duties are voluntary, but make it mandatory as a parent for a child to follow fundamental duties as set out in Article 51A, Part 4A of the Constitution of India. If you follow these 11 simple guidelines, you will be an Indian first. If you follow these 11 simple guidelines, you shall become a great country. If you follow these 11 guidelines, you will be an Indian first, a Tamilian second, an Indian first, a Marathi second, an Indian first where everybody comes into this warm, all-encompassing embrace of our great nation. I shall read some of them and you will instantly recognize the greatness of these mantras set out here. To cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom. Learn about great leaders. To promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, transcending religious, linguistic, regional diversities, to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women. If you adopt this one mantra in your life, you're a great Indian, your country is great, nothing further is required. I'll say this again, transcend, overcome religious, linguistic, regional diversities. That says it all. If you're able to do this, you're a great country. To value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. To accept each other's culture. If there is a neighbor you have who's non-vegetarian by tradition and by culture, don't look down upon him or her. Accept and at least understand that it's another part of the same country with the same lineage and same traditions that date back several thousands of years. To protect and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers, wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. I see young children who even before they begin to speak, say hut to the dog, to the stray dog. The instant reaction is to go pick up a stone and try to hit a dog. That doesn't happen in other great countries. To teach children the value of environment, to have compassion for life. To develop scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform. The country wants you to ask questions. It wants you to question old beliefs and take your rightful place in the modern world. To strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity so that the nation constantly rises to higher levels of endeavour and achievement. How beautiful is that? To strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity. We have this, tradition of chalta hai, dekh lenge, ho jayega, kar lenge. That can change. Here is a mantra. Why not, excellence? Let's chase excellence in whatever we do. An ordinary clerk doing some work in his office, or the CEO of an Indian company. You can embrace this mantra and align yourself and benchmark yourself against the very best in the world. You don't need anything more than the fundamental duties that are set out here, hardly few, to not only be a great country, but also, I think, to be a very successful and happy citizen of the world. When you celebrate Republic Day today and ever in future, and when you look at the national flag and go all, wobbly with emotions, please pull out the fundamental duties, give them a read. Please take out one mantra and do it for 1 year, and in the next 10 years, you shall be a superpower. Thank you for listening to me. Please share this video if you're a true Indian. Thank you very much, and don't forget to send me your likes. Your likes are my rewards. As you know, I don't do this for money. I do this to empower you with legal knowledge so you have a great life ahead. Happy Republic Day. Please read your fundamental duties. Bye-bye.